If you've ever said yes when every part of you is quietly screaming no, this conversation is for you. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today, I want to talk about boundaries, something that is often misunderstood. When people hear the word boundaries, they sometimes think it means something like being cold or distant or selfish or uncaring, but boundaries are not about being cold. They're about clarity. A healthy boundary helps people understand what you need, what you can give realistically, and how they can relate to you in a respectful way. It is not a wall designed to keep people out. It is more like a clear line that protects what matters: your time, your energy, your body, and your emotional space. And as a therapist, I have seen how many people struggle with boundaries because they have spent so much of their lives trying to not disappoint anyone. Maybe you're the person everyone calls when they need help. Maybe you're used to saying yes because you do not want someone to be upset with you. Maybe you've been taught that being loving means always being available. But being available to everyone all the time is not the same thing as being healthy. When we do not have boundaries, we can become overwhelmed, we can become resentful, emotionally exhausted, and sometimes disconnected from our own needs. We may smile on the outside and say yes, while internally we are frustrated, we're tired, or just feeling taken for granted. And the difficult part is that the other person may not even know it. If we keep saying yes when we mean no, people may assume that what they're asking from us is okay. That is why boundaries are so important. They help make relationships clearer, not weaker. A healthy boundary within a relationship can withstand honesty. A healthy relationship itself has room for two people to have needs and limits and feelings and responsibilities. Boundaries allow you to say, this is what I can do, while also saying, this is what I can't do. So, for example, a boundary around your time may sound like, I would love to help, but I'm not available this weekend. A boundary at work may sound like, I can respond to that email tomorrow during business hours. A boundary in a relationship may sound like, I want to have this conversation, but I need us to speak respectfully. If we start yelling, I'm going to pause the conversation and I'm going to come back to it later. An emotional boundary may sound like this, like, I care about you, but I am not able to solve this problem for you. And sometimes a boundary is simply, no, that does not work for me. Now, I know the last one can be hard to say. Many of us feel like we need to explain or justify or give a long list of reasons for why we cannot do something. But a boundary does not always require a lengthy explanation. You can be kind, you can be compassionate and respectful without over-explaining yourself. So you might say something like this: thank you for thinking of me, but I cannot commit to that right now. Or I need some time to think about that before I can give you an honest answer. Or even, I understand that you're disappointed, but my decision is still the same. These are not rude. These are clear. There's one book that many people find to be really helpful. It's called Boundaries: When to Say Yes. And I think it's like How to Say No to Take Control of Your Life by Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. Townsend. One quote from the book that I absolutely love says, a boundary shows me where I end and someone else begins. This is such an important idea. You're responsible for your thoughts, your choices, your actions, and your well-being, and other people are responsible for theirs. Psh. You can support someone without carrying their entire burden. You can care about someone without rescuing them. And you can love someone without losing yourself. Now, of course, boundary setting may still feel uncomfortable at first. It does for everyone. Someone may not like your answer. They may be disappointed or frustrated or surprised, especially if they're used to having unlimited access to your time and your energy. But someone else's disappointment does not always mean you have done something wrong. Sometimes it simply means you are doing something new. Healthy boundaries are an act of self-respect. They communicate that your needs matter, your peace matters, and your capacity matters. They also teach people how to treat you. If you're beginning to practice boundaries, I would suggest starting small. Pause before immediately saying yes, or give yourself permission to check your calendar, to consider your energy levels, or to simply say, I don't know, let me think about that. You don't have to become harsh to have boundaries. That is a misconception. You do not have to stop being caring or kind. You just have to be honest about what is healthy and sustainable for you. Remember, boundaries are not about pushing people away. They're about creating clarity, protecting your well-being, and building healthier relationships. So start small. Be honest about what you need and give yourself grace as you practice. So thanks so much, as always, for tuning in. And as you continue navigating your relationships and identifying healthier limits in your life, my suggestion is always the same. Keep reflecting.